Hi there, I'm Iris and I am the designer behind hirismakes. So welcome to my first ever podcast. I just thought it would be fun to chat with you in a bit more of a long format, what I'm up to, and just to get a bit of behind the scenes look at what I get up to. So originally I wanted to start with this is my stash and show you everything, but it'll make a huge mess and there's so much of it. And that's going to be a bit boring. So anyway, maybe that's for another time. So if you guys really want to see my stash, let me know. And I can do that in another video. But instead, I thought we would have a look at all of the swatches I made lately. So I had a bit of a kind of downtime. I wasn't really sure what to make. I was feeling a bit unmotivated with a lot of my designs. So I've done loads of swatches, and I'm also doing a few test knits for other people at the moment, just to kind of shake things up a little bit. So I will show you all of my swatches that I'm currently working on. So I mentioned that I was doing some test knitting, so we'll start with the swatches that I made for Sophie, the Knit Pearl Girls Turney slipover. It's got loads of knits and pearls and rows. It's kind of textured. Anyway, so Sophie came and helped me at Unravel, which I did with Hook and Light. So this is where I do naturally dyed yarn. It's not super active at the moment, but head over there, we do still have some stuff in stock as well. So she was helping out there and she was wearing this slipover and I thought, oh, it's really cute. And there were loads of really nice yarns there that obviously I wanted to buy. So I thought, okay, I'll why not make Sophie's slipover with one of these yarns. So I thought I would make Sophie's slipover in one of the yarns that I bought at Unravel. So it's designed in a double knit weight. I think it's about... So it's designed with the baby wool, the alpaca baby wool by We Are Knitters, which comes with 50 gram skeins or balls, and it is 112 meters, so about 225-ish for 100 grams. So normal double knit weight. And I thought, oh great, loads of double knit available. So I bought this absolutely gorgeous yarn from Rauwerk, and I've known Rauwerk for a while, but I've never actually bought any of their yarn. So it is 100% merino wool, it's organically raised and it's from their single flock near Berlin. And she naturally dyes them as well, so she has a really gorgeous range of colours, but she also has these really, really nice natural colours. So it's kind of a rustic merino, but I really love it. It's so voluminous and like stiff but soft, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And this colour is, I think it's called Sand, and it's one of the undyed colours. So she has this lovely little label here with the different colours, and it's woolen spun, so it's really open, and it's really nice. So I thought, okay, 220 meters for 100 grams, that'll work. So I made my swatch, and here it is. It is gorgeous, yes, you can see that in the light there. Exactly how I kind of wanted it to turn out, but way too big. And I thought, okay, if I go down in needle size, it's going to be way too stiff. It's already stiff enough as it is. So this is absolutely gorgeous, but wasn't going to work. Obviously, I didn't know that until after I bought it, but that's fine. And incidentally, it cakes up into this massive cake, which is very satisfying. So this is going to have to wait for another project. But it is absolutely gorgeous. So I have my swatch ready for something that I will maybe design or knit somebody else's pattern with that. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous, but wasn't going to work. So that was Rauwerk, the first swatch. And then I thought, no problem, I have a huge stash. There must be some double knit in my stash. None. No double knit, or at least not enough to make a slipover where you don't really need that much. So I thought, oh no. I said I would test it, and now I don't have any yarn. I don't want to buy more because I'd bought a lot more on Unravel as well, which we'll come to later. So I was kind of like saying, oh, don't know about it to Sophie, and she kindly offered me some leftover Wearnitis Ecolana that she had, because I said to her, oh, maybe this would sort of work, because it has a similar rustic feel to the Rauwerk, but maybe it's a bit thinner. So she kindly gave me some to try out, and here's this swatch, and again it's really beautiful. So it's a different darker shade than this one. Absolutely beautiful, has that like gorgeous fluff on it from this yarn, and I really do like this yarn. It's really nice. The darker colours are a bit scratchier than the lighter colours, but I'm not really too fussed about scratchiness. So again, gorgeous, but maybe you can already see, way too big again. So that one was out as well. And then eventually I thought, okay, fine, I will just buy the Wearnitis alpaca, because I'd been looking at it for, well, I guess for like a year or two now, thinking, oh, it might be nice to try. And I love alpaca, I just haven't used it a lot lately. It has a really nice drape, but it can be a bit floppy. But that's fine. But because Sophie designed it in this, I thought that would be okay. And you can already see how much thinner it is than the... this is 100 grams, so it's 50 grams, but it's much thinner than a normal double knit in my opinion. And that's because alpaca fibres tend to be quite dense. And that's fine. Anyway, so I made my swatch in this one, and here we go. And you can already see, right, this has got a lovely drape, it's all floppy. And first time, perfect gauge, of course. So now I'm making it in this, which is really lovely. And I think this might be a colour she used as well for one of hers. I think it's also called sand, ironically. Started with sand, ended with sand. Quite a different colour sand, but I guess there are lots of types of sand. I would say this is a bit more sand really than this. But yeah, whatever. So, got the lovely swatch, and I have been working on this, and it's, well, it's a slip over, it's on 4.5mm needle, so it's going really quick. And here it is at the moment. So it's got a round neck, and then it's got, you know, a bit of underarm shaping. Yeah, so I think that's going to be really nice. And it feels amazing, of course, because it's alpaca. I suspect it will grow quite a lot in length. I normally wear my slipovers a bit tighter, so I hope that this isn't too loose, but I think it'll be really nice. Actually, every time I knit a slipover, I think it's going to be too big, and then it's not. So that would be really nice. So yeah, don't worry, I'm nearly finished. Okay, so that is the saga of the Turney slipover test knit, and some of the yarn that I bought at Unravel. So, to find somewhere to put this. So, then the next thing that actually is kind of related to this happened around the same time, was that for months on end, maybe you've even seen me talking about it if you followed me on Instagram for a while, I've wanted to make something with this alpaca bulls? I don't know how you say it, bulls. Anyway, this yarn, the kind of like curly stuff. Fluffy, it's really cool. So what I wanted was like a teddy bear type jacket, you know, a zip one. And I agonised for ages because I've never made anything with a zip in it. And I thought to straight away design something with a zip in it will be a bit tricky. So I actually bought some yarn to make the petite knit zipper one, where it's just zipped at the top. Haven't even cast that on, but I have the yarn to make it. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try that first, see how it goes, see if I like doing a zip, and then I'll design something. Then I did a couple of swatches, which I don't have here now, but I wanted to hold this with something else because it's quite expensive, and I felt that you needed another fibre there to give it a good structure. So I tried loads of swatches, and it kind of looked like a balding teddy because it wasn't like fluffy enough, and I lost hope. But anyway, then I saw Joanne from Knitwear by Joanne put out a testing call for like a teddy bear jacket with a zip all the way up, and I was like, you know what, I'll just make hers, and then I have it, and easy. I'll just use up the yarn that I have. Of course, wasn't exactly the same gauge as what I was trying to go for, so I had to go and buy more yarn again because she was using a worsted weight base plus 2 strands of this. And I had used an Aran weight, and of course in the UK we don't really have worsted weight, so that was a bit of a problem. But if you remember, I was talking about the Ecolana. This is a double knit, but it's so thick that actually it works really well as a worsted weight. So I held this with 2 strands of the alpaca, and I got this swatch here, which is super fluffy. And yeah, so it's kind of a grey and beige. I would have liked a natural, something a bit more beige, but I think it turned out pretty nice in the end, and it's a way that I could use up, well, use up some of Sophie's stash and my own stash. So it worked out quite well. So that was a swatch. I'm perfect gauge straight away. And I have been knitting on the test knit here. And yeah, if you can see, it's turning out really, really nice. It's heavy, which is fine because it's a coat. It's got pockets forming here, and it's got a really nice band at the bottom. So this was the original Aran weight that I was going to use, held double, but it didn't work as well because it's light, so it was more obvious where it shone through. But this I think was going to be really, really cute. So I think I'm almost at the point where I do the sleeve shaping, and she uses a really great technique to get this nice effect on the bottom of the ribbing. Don't want to give away all the pattern details, obviously, but yeah, that's really fun. And her test knitters, a lot of them have made really cool versions, like lots of different colours. I feel like mine's really boring, but I mean, it's sort of what I wanted, so I'm happy about that. And we'll see how it goes with the zip. And yeah, I'm knitting on 7mm needles with all of this held together, so it's going really, really quickly. So that's going to be great, and of course it'll be finished when I don't need it anymore. Although, let's face it, it's still going to be cold enough for a coat for quite a while, I think. So that's what I'm test knitting at the moment. And then I said I'd take you through the rest of my swatches. So, like I was saying, I was feeling a bit meh about kind of everything. So I just thought, okay, take a step back and we'll just do some swatches, see how things sort of look. So I've got all of these swatches here, and there's actually more, but I'm not sure where I put them. And I started a spreadsheet for my swatches now, because I used to think, oh, I'll definitely remember which needle size I used for this, and forgotten immediately. So now I have a nice spreadsheet which says the needle size, the gauge, and the yarn, and the colour, so I remember the stitch pattern. So that's been really helpful. So maybe we'll start with the only one where I know what I'm going to make. So this little diaphanous mohair. This is for a very special project. So this is made with the most gorgeous kid silk mohair from Woolen Flower. So she's a natural dyer up in Glasgow, and she is such a nice person. Oh my god. And her colours are amazing. I don't know how she does it, especially on mohair. Well, I mean, I sort of do know because I naturally dye myself, but I know how hard it is, and she gets amazing colours. I mean, absolutely amazing. This is gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, come on, isn't that the most gorgeous colour you have ever seen? It is like a red but pink but kind of terracotta and a bit warm. Oh, it's gorgeous. And I mean, natural colours are insanely nice. They just have this richness that other colours don't have, synthetic colours, or that it's really hard to get. So anyway, she has this gorgeous cute little label. Yeah, and it's 72% mohair, 28% silk. And of course the core has taken the colour really nicely. It's kind of shiny. And so here I've knitted it just kind of loosely. It's probably hard to see, but I tried either just stockinette or a garter stitch. Plan for this is to make myself a little shawl type wrap thingy for my wedding, which is in October. where obviously the weather is going to be bad, probably. So I just want a little, I mean, you have to have some knitwear there, and I am not knitting a wedding dress. Don't have time for that kind of thing. Also, can you imagine how heavy it will be? So anyway, instead I'm going to knit myself this kind of diaphanous shawl thing, and that'll be really beautiful, and also be really nice because jewels from wool and flower is so nice, and it'll be nice to have something, you know, where I know the person who's dyed it, and I have a bit of a kind of a positive feeling about the whole project. So I think it'll be really, really lovely. So that's what this is for. So that's super exciting. I don't think I've posted about this on Instagram yet at all, because I just haven't had time to do that. But yeah, super exciting. I don't think I'll do a pattern for this because it's just going to be a shawl. But yeah, so that's super exciting. Okay, so the next swatch is another yarn that I picked up at Unravel, and this is a Garthenor number 3. So this is another double knit weight, which I thought I could knit slip over in, maybe, but of course too thick, because this again is a really natural wool, very plump and very thick. So this, yeah, is absolutely gorgeous. And ironically, also Sophie bought like the same thing. I think we literally bought basically the same yarns when we were there. But they were some of the nicest things. So yeah, this is all like organically grown. They mill it themselves, and they have dyed ones as well. They use synthetic dyes, but they have lots of great colours. So yeah, this is a natural brown, and I think the reason we both went for this is because, as I was saying before, the darker natural colours tend to be not as soft as the lighter colours, but this brown is actually really soft, and you can feel that like lanolin greasiness on it, which doesn't sound good, but it's really nice. So it feels like really like proper wool. I mean, this really is more of a winter yarn. I bought enough to make a sweater or a little cardigan or something, but to be honest, I made the swatch. It looks great, but I don't have any inspiration for it yet. So that'll be for another time. Okay, then I have 2 more here. So I have this, which is an alpaca silk blend. This is the Sandes alpaca silk. I bought this from No Frills Knitting like a year ago. Still not sure what to make with it, but it's very pretty. But at least I've got the swatch. So when, you know, inspiration strikes, I'm ready to go. And then finally, for the swatches, I have another Sandes yarn, which is the Sunday yarn, also in a brown, like a chocolatey brown colour. And this I actually have a plan for, not that I've started it yet. I'm going to make a little like crop top, maybe with some buttons on the front, like a V-neck with little buttons, and then a tiny little ruffle peplum thing, not too much. I'm not really a big fan of peplum, but like a little one. It sounds terrible because it's going to be brown as well, but I think it'll be really cute. So watch out for that one. Yeah, so that's it on the swatches for now. What else have I been up to? I have been slowing down a little bit on my pattern designing at the moment, just because I have so many other things going on work-wise. But I have just finished this jumper, which you've probably seen if you're on Instagram. I'm going to call it the sundial sweater because it has kind of looks like a sundial. Of course, it's got short rows at the back, and yeah, it's just sort of a simple shape. It's got kind of wide sleeves, but not too wide. Yeah, and it's sort of lightweight. It is knit with 1 strand of the Sandes Sunday and 1 strand of the Filcolana Tilia, which is 70% mohair, 30% silk. And I have to say, obviously these are not the same colours, I have to say this is like one of my favourite mohairs that I've ever used. It's so hairy and so soft, and the colours are really nice as well. So I got this from Knit Yarns. Yeah, and as you can see, I did also get another colour because it was suggested to me on Instagram that this would be quite cute as a short sleeve version. So that's my next plan, and I think that'll be really nice in this lavender colour, kind of a summery knit. So that'll be coming at some point, and the test knit for this one will be coming at some point. It's not the easiest thing to grade. It's a circular yoke, but of course it's got these stripes which make it a bit harder, and the short rows and everything. So I will be grading it soon. It took me a really long time to knit this because what I wanted originally, these stripes to end at the underarm, but I kind of messed up the mass, or I didn't do the mass. Normally I grade the entire pattern before starting my sample, and I didn't properly do that for this one. I just sort of went for it, and then when I got to splitting the sleeve, I was like, oh no, it's not gonna like stop, it's not gonna go into the raglan, or the sleeve would be massive, the body would be small. So I thought, well, I can't really do that. So I had to split it not along these seam sort of lines. And at first I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to knit a second sample or undo the whole thing. But actually, I think it's quite nice that it doesn't end at the underarm, that it goes through there. So I think I might just go ahead and grade it sort of like this, actually. But yeah, that's that one. So the final thing I want to talk about today, I mean, I could go on forever, but probably could save it for another time, is the summer tops knit along. So I was having a bit of a, well, you know, as I was saying before, having a bit of a lack of motivation, feeling like there were too many patterns. A lot of my patterns didn't get a lot of sales when I first released them. So I thought, oh, my patterns, maybe they're not very good anymore, or people don't like them. But I think it's also just the fact that there are so many patterns out there, and people are doing a lot of test knitting as well. So they don't really have time to buy patterns and make them, because in some ways it's more fun to do test knitting because there's a bit of a community, and you've kind of got like an incentive to finish a pattern. So that's one, like, the reasons I like to test knit as well. So yeah, I was feeling a bit meh about the whole thing, wasn't sure what to do. So I was having some discussion with people on Instagram, and a lot of people suggested doing a knit along, because you'll have that same community feel that you would get in a test knit, but using old patterns. And the thing is, most of my designs, I try to make them so that they are quite timeless, so they're not going to be out of fashion, you know, 5 minutes after I design them, I hope. So why not knit last year's summer patterns, because really things haven't changed that much. A summer top is hopefully still a summer top. So yeah, last year I brought out a lot of summer patterns. I was really organised. I was looking back through my photos, and this time last year I'd already started. Yeah, there will not be so many summer patterns this year, I can guarantee you. Or they'll be out in winter, which is not very helpful. Anyway, so I'm doing the summer tops knit along. So you can basically join in by knitting any of my summer top patterns. And I've got a few here I'm going to show you. There's some in double knit, some in full ply, in cotton, in wool, in viscose, all sorts of different things. And there's also one free pattern as well. So there's a completely free way to join too. So the idea is there are little Instagram groups for each pattern, because I had quite a lot of people sign up, which was amazing. I thought it would be one group and everyone would lose interest after about 5 minutes. But no, had really amazing response. So it is one group per pattern currently on Instagram, because there's a limit of 32 people per group. And if there's enough people joining, I will also do multiple groups for each pattern. So yeah, you basically sign up through the Google Docs that I made, and that asks you which patterns you want to knit, and that's it really, your email address. And it also asks if you want to join a Zoom or two. So I think because now it's kind of split up between the different Instagram groups, it would be nice to have a Zoom where everyone can chat to each other. So I might do one fairly soon for like the beginning of the project, and then one nearer the end for kind of showing off what you've made and discussing things. So it's already been really great because, you know, there's a lot of discussion in the chats about how to get the right fit. Do you want ease or no ease, and all these kind of things. So I think it will actually be really good for the patterns themselves as well. It's like they're getting an extra very rigorous testing. So I might do some updates actually on some of them at the end of this as well. So I should say, why would you finish a knit along? So this is often one of the things. I mean, you typically get giveaways, but not everyone's going to win the giveaway, right? Whereas the incentive to finish a test knit is that you want to finish it for the person to release their pattern. So I thought, okay, what is the incentive here to actually finish something? So in this case, I'm going to do another Google form at the end of the knit along, where you can basically upload a picture of one of your finished items, and everyone that finishes an item will get 25% off my patterns at the end of it. So we've got a code that you can use once. So it's a single use 25% off code, but you can use it on one pattern, on two patterns, on three patterns, or on all of my patterns. So potentially quite a big discount if you want to stock up on patterns for the winter. And yeah, so that's a bit of an incentive to actually finish. I also want to plan some giveaways as well. I just need to find people to sponsor them, or think about what I can buy myself to do the giveaway. What are the patterns included? So I don't have all of them here, but just a little selection. So the most popular one has actually been this, which is the strawberry top. And this is knit in the We Are Knitters Pima cotton, which is double knit weight, and yeah, I mean, you can see why it was called strawberry top. So thank you to one of my colleagues actually for this suggestion, this name suggestion. And yeah, it's got all these little eyelets all over it. So this is knit top down actually, and this is one where there's been discussion about the ease. So some of my test knitters made it tight, some made it loose. Yeah, so you can kind of change it up depending what look you want. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's just cast on at the top, increases, and then down to the bottom. And a lot of people have also been chatting about different kinds of yarn alternatives for the We Are Knitters one, because especially in the UK now it's really quite expensive with shipping. So yeah, lots of suggestions were put in the groups there. I can't remember all on the top of my head, but I think I will actually try and order some alternatives as well. To try them out myself. So that's a strawberry top, and then there is also related, well, another strawberry top, which is the strawberry top light, and you can already see it's very light. And I really love this one. I mean, you can see the light shining through there. This is knit again actually with We Are Knitters. I think the We Are Knitters have a lot of good summer yarns actually. So this is knit with they call it the bamboo, so it's a viscose, bamboo viscose, and it has like a shine, and it's heavy and drapey. So when you're wearing this, you get like that, almost like that cowl neck effect, if you knit it with a bit of positive ease, which is really nice. And it sits really, really lovely. So if you are in a hot country, so it gets quite hot in the summer, this is really great for that. It's a lot slower to knit, obviously, because I think this is on a 3 or 3.25. So it's a bit of a longer knit, but it's sort of worth it. And I made this with one single ball of the bamboo, 100 grams. So yeah, you don't need a lot of it either. And I think there's quite a lot of bamboo yarn alternatives around as well. Okay, then we've got just two more. We've got the Seashell top, which could do with a little bit of a blocking actually. So this is another little cami. This one now is knit bottom up, and it has this nice lace design. Looks a bit like a seashell. And yeah, this one is double knit. I knit it with a cotton merino blend from O Wool, which is really nice. It's got kind of a bit more structure to it. I really like that, but you could definitely knit it in just cotton as well. So that's quite fun. The lace is not too hard at all, and there's charts for the decreases at the top. So quite a good time actually to try out a new technique, especially during a knit along, because you can ask people for help. So it's a good opportunity to try different things out. So one I don't have here actually is another one with a bit of lace, which is called the Lotus Petal top. And that's the only one of my summer tops that has sleeves. So it has just little short sleeves, and it has a little lace kind of cast on at the bottom. And that's knit in 4-ply. But it comes together pretty quickly, because once you've done the lace, it's a lot of stockinette stitch. So that's really nice actually. And I gave that to my sister, and I think I sort of want one for myself. Currently it sounds like I'm going to be like, it sounds like I'm going to knit myself every single one of these again. The one I'm definitely going to knit again though actually is the Helix crop top. So it's kind of tight with little cables all the way up it. And I knit that with the most gorgeous American merino from Forest Lane Fibre Co, who I know really well through organising Botanica. We've never met in person, but I feel like we know each other. Anyway, she has really, really gorgeous yarns. She dyes all non-superwash, but she uses acid dyes, mixed loads of like speckled colourways. So I knit that in her yarn, but sadly it came out a bit too big. It was fixed in the final pattern, don't worry. But wasn't very accurate with my gauge swatch, I think. So it ended up a bit too big, so I gave it away. And I'm still really sad about it, because I really, really liked it. So I have more of her yarn here, which is from one of her yarn clubs. I don't know if she's still doing the yarn clubs, but she was at the time. And yeah, I think I will make it with this. I'm going to do the swatch, because I sometimes think speckles can be a bit too busy for cables, because you lose the texture. But yeah, if it looks nice, I'll make it with this. Otherwise, I'll make, I think, some other summer top with that. So that's that. And then the last pattern, summer pattern I want to show you is the Stash Busting Tube Top. This is like the most simple pattern ever, and this is a free pattern, and it is knit with 2 strands of 4-ply held together, so you get this mould effect. And seriously, you can use anything. Use all your scraps, make it completely different, straps, no straps, whatever you want. So there's a free pattern on my blog for this, and actually someone already in the knit along group for this has finished one in like 2 days, because it's so fast. It's on 6mm needles. In fact, this is probably good if you have never knit a garment before. This is for you. You cast it on, you do a little bit of ribbing, you go round and round and round, you do a bit more ribbing, and if you find the straps too hard, don't do them. And that's it, you've got a tube top. Anyway, one of the girls in the chats, she actually added some short rows to the front panel to kind of bring up the front compared to the back, so that it would sit kind of nicer under the arm. And she has sent me some of those details, so I might add that to the free pattern version as well as a little mod. But of course, if you're a beginner, you don't need to try and do short rows. So yeah, this is a free entry option, which is Stash Busting Tube Top. And if you finish this during the knit along, you'll still be eligible for the prizes and for the discount code. Okay, so that is it for now. And of course, I have a huge mess to tidy up, but that's fine. And I'm already feeling way more motivated to actually finish all of this, so that I can have another podcast and show you, wow, look, I finished my shawl and I've finished all my test knits. Yeah, so hopefully you also enjoyed hearing what I've got to chat about. And yeah, I guess like and subscribe. That's what they say. So yeah, and leave some comments. If you like what I've said, you want me to talk about different things, or you want me to never talk again, but please be nice about it. Yeah, so I'll see you next time.